MKR started this week. The first dish that got a 10 out of 10 was from Janelle Monzir. It was a Sudanese lamb cutlet with peanut sauce and cucumber salad. Okay, to start off, we need to get the lamb ready because this is going to marinate for a little bit. So I'm just going to get my lamb here. I'm just going to divide them up into each little segments. So I've gone through and chopped all my lamb up. I'm not 100% sure why. The butcher where I got it from has gone along and put a cut all in the top of these, straight across the whole rack. I'm not quite sure why they did that, or if it was a mistake or what, but all I can say is that these might not look as pretty when we get them all, and I hope they stay together on the grill. They should taste just the same. It's just not going to look as good in my opinion. So the next step is we're going to get these into a marinade. We'll get these marinating. For the marinade, it's quite simple. I just got some pepper and ginger, some garlic, and the juice of 1 lime. Now all the amounts and ingredients will be on the website, traditionalbutnot.com. So you just want to go ahead and lay your lamb in a container or however you're going to be marinating this. I'll start off with just adding a little bit of the dry. Make sure it goes everywhere. Now the garlic. Actually, you just want to go ahead and mix all your lamb around in that marinade. Once you got it all in the container, make sure there's a bit of garlic and lemon juice and ginger and pepper and everything. Alright, once you get everything nicely coated, we'll stick a lid on this and we're going to pop it in the fridge. Okay, to make the peanut butter, it's quite simple. I've got all the ingredients laid out here. I'm just going to bung them all in the processor here, process them down until I get my desired consistency. Now with the peanuts, when I was at the store, I could only find these already roasted and lightly salted ones. So I have a little bit of salt here, but I'm going to process it all down and then I'll taste it and then I'll see if I need to add any more. Go in with the peanuts. Then I've got the juice of the lime and zest. Bung that in. And I've got a garlic clove roughly chopped up here. And the chilies. Now I used 1 long red one and 1 medium-sized orange one. Now I just cut a little bit off and I actually tasted for the spiciness and I think this will be the right amount. If it's not, I'll add a little bit more after I taste it. So in that goes. Seeds and all I put in. As I said before, just taste your chilies. Maybe they'll be a little bit less spicy, maybe they'll be a little bit more. I always just taste the chili before I go because they're very different. Every chili that I get, it's never the same hotness. Okay, now I've got some hot water here. Now I'm not going to add all this. I'm going to add about half. Well, a little bit more than half. Okay, now we'll pop the top on and we'll blitz this up till we get to a nice consistency. Okay, just blitzed it up for a minute there, for a few seconds. Now I'll give it a little scrape down. We'll pop the lid back on and we'll keep on processing. So a couple of you eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed that we've had to change to a different piece of equipment here because my other one crapped itself. So, same deal, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to blend this up to the right consistency. Just give it a taste, and I'm going to add the rest of the water and just a little bit of salt while the machine's running. Once you've got the consistency you want, just want to go ahead, place it in another container. Alright, once you got it transferred, you just want to test it for seasoning one more time. Add a little bit more salt to mine. Alright, we'll mix this in, and then we'll cover it up and set it aside until we need it. Next up is the AGASHE. I hope I said that right. I've never had this before, but we'll give it a go. So I've got my breadcrumbs in a bowl, and I've got my spices here. We'll bung them in, and also some flour. Just give this a little mix through with our hand to start off with. And now we'll put in the peanut butter. So we'll just get that scooped out in there. Alright, now we're just going to work this into this peanut butter into the breadcrumb and the flour and the spices. It is a little sticky to start off with, but once you get going, it all kind of mixes through. And you're left with a little something like that. I'll give my hands a quick clean and then we'll set aside 1/4 of this mixture for later on. Okay, the sun's chasing me around the kitchen, so we're having to move it a little bit, but everything's fine. I've got my lamb that's all coated in the garlic and the lime juice and everything. Now I've got my little crumb mix here, so I'm just going to put that in there. Get a nice little coat of this mixture on the lamb, and then we'll set it aside in a container. So I'll go through and finish off the rest of these, and then we'll come back. Once you've got them all crumbed up and they're looking good like that, we're just going to pop a lid on. And we're going to set these in the fridge and let them chill out for about an hour. I've got a pot and a pan set up here. Now in the pot, I'm going to be making my pickling mix for my pickled onions. So I'm just going to put the vinegar in there. And then I've got all my sugar, herbs and spices and salt in there. I'm going to pop that in. I'll give it a little stir around with my teaspoon here. You can use whatever utensil you want to stir it, but I'm using a teaspoon because that's what I had handy. And we're just going to bring that up to a boil. Wait until everything's dissolved. Then we'll turn it off. And we'll pour it over my onions, which I already have thinly sliced up. Alright, in this other pan here, I'm going to put a little bit of oil in there, and we'll bring that up to on a medium-low heat. Alright, once your pan's getting a little bit of heat to it, you just want to sprinkle in your leftover mixture, and you just want to stir this around And we just want to get a little bit of browning going on this one. As you can see, got my pickles at a boil. I'm just gonna take it off the heat, give it a little swirl around, then we're gonna pour it straight over my onions. Now we'll just make sure all the onions are submerged, like that. And now we're gonna set this aside, we'll let it cool down, and then we'll set it in the refrigerator. Once you got a nice little bit of toasty on us like that, we're just gonna set it off to the side, and it's ready. I've just got my grill preheated, and now I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna cook my lamb to around 60 to 65 degrees internal, and then we'll pull it off and we'll let it rest about 5 minutes. Okay, for the cucumber salad, you should be using Lebanese cucumbers, but I couldn't find any of those. But I do have these smaller English style cucumbers. Now they do have a lot of seeds in the middle. You should be getting nice ribbons, but obviously with the seeds, they tend to fall apart a little easier. But the pieces more to the outside, they'll be fine. We're just going to add a little bit of salt to this, and then I've gone ahead and just roughly chopped up some mint and coriander. We'll bung that in, and also some lime juice. So we'll just pour a little bit in for now, and then with mine I'm going to have to be super gentle to mix it all together so that I don't fall apart too much. So then we'll go ahead and we'll take out a piece that's all janged up, and we'll try that for the seasoning. Going to add a little bit more lime juice, just a little bit, and a little bit more salt, and then we'll mix that in, and that'll be ready to go. Okay. Now it's time to try it. After cooking the whole day. The lamb, it's cooked alright, I guess. I could have been a little bit less, but, you know, we're cooking at home here. No big drama. Lamb in Austria is quite uncommon. So we don't have it too much because it's quite a high price, but when we do, it's a bit of a treat. Oh, it's a little bit spicy, that peanut stuff. The flavors and everything on this dish are really, really good. The spices on the outside of this, and this whole peanut sauce and this extra crumb here that they've made tastes absolutely amazing. I'm just a little bit disappointed that the lamb quality wasn't quite up to scratch. I'm definitely going to recreate this when I'm back in Australia around Christmas time with some good Australian quality lamb.